And we're going to kick off this last section with Arpita Maity, who is Director of Product Marketing at RWS, telling us about gearing up for success with multilingual voice search using structured content. So let's hand over. The floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session. So very quickly, I would like to start because we are very short on time. What we are going to cover in today's session is what is the state of voice search today in the market? Can we consider voice as a valid content type? And how can we use voice for transforming guided experiences? And very quickly, we'll have a look at structured content as a foundation for all of these wonderful applications, an application in an industry, followed by a Q&A. So let's get started. So what about voice search? So voice is actually gaining a lot of traction. And this is, of course, based on some of the information in the articles and research, but also from talking to our own customers. And what we have found that it is a rapidly growing. Consumers are using voice to make purchases. Usually, it is the first place where they go to make a search. And then, depending upon the results they find, that's when they go ahead with visiting a website and finally making a purchase. Many times, voice search, hence, is directly linked to the calls to the businesses. And this is becoming a norm. And what it means is that 20% of the voice searches do include the top 25 keywords for a particular kind of search. And what it means for the organization is that if they are not tapping into this increasingly new channel, they're losing out on insights, which could be used for guiding their customers. More about what do we mean by a guided experience and how can voice help, we'll have a look. But where else is being voice used in everyday life? So we have, of course, the in-car systems to initiate a phone call, to look up what radio stations you want to listen to. And in many cases, it can also be used for troubleshooting. Other than that, we are also looking at applications in healthcare. So like monitoring of your blood pressure, your steps, whatnot, and so on and so forth. And you can also find it being used as a language platform, learning a new language, translations, and so many more things. So this is a very quick example on a multilingual voice guided search. So what does it mean? So for example, this is from a mobile vendor. They have a very nice website where Madalena, our protagonist, she goes and she has a problem with her phone. And she starts talking to the voice agent, and she has multiple ways to go about it. She's considering maybe she gets a new phone. She's considering maybe she will wait for the next update to make available, or she decides should she repair it meanwhile. And what happens during all of this? So this guided agent tells her what should be the best opportunity for her with the least amount of pain for her. And for that, he looks up her name, he looks up her what kind of service level agreement she has, and then recommends her the nearest station for her where she can either drop off or she can get her phone to be picked up by the one of the field specialists. Now, if you look at this journey, this is as if a human being was interacting with her. And to support this journey, there are, of course, CMS, CRM, to sales order, ERP, to knowledge base and business process management that are supporting this system and more. So this is a level deeper. You can look at it, there is an NLP engine because she could be speaking in any of the languages, and then the knowledge base or the Q&A system, the bot might be built in English. So we are looking at machine translation, speech to text, and all of these wonderful services. But it doesn't just stop at that. The basic query can also involve different kind of meanings. So your product underlying content management system should be able to produce information in small chunks for the machine to pick up and assemble a response. And we are looking, and it could be a very critical piece of information. So this has to be governed. It has to be for sure a piece of information which is verified and validated. And similarly, this is all, as you can imagine, being powered by structured content. So structured content allows information to be created, reviewed as a single block. And this all of this can be governed, and they can be used in various channels in various ways. It could be used by training and learning, by support, by claim management, and even by marketing. So, and what makes it meaningful and not something that doesn't match somebody's query is the layer of semantics that we add around such structured content. We can have an analyzer to provide how this content makes an impact. Was the customer happy? Does it, the tagging we do helps finding the right information for the right person? And there are other things available to make it much more intelligent, such as orchestration, routing the right information to the right person, having bot connectors, and more. So what does structured content really enable? So it can enable experiences on both the sides, be it B2C or be it B2B. So we are looking at hands-free, language-independent Q&A kind of experiences, which are at the end of the day built upon metadata, taxonomy, knowledge graphs, and the deliveries enabled via chatbots, virtual agents. So it's a lot of system and a lot of methodologies which are supported, but at the foundation, we are looking at structured content as the foundation upon which we can build such guided experiences. So what should one think of when they're considering something of this kind to build upon? So the first thing first is like, what kind of database are we looking at? What kind of API access does it have? Unstructured content with query APIs. Do you also want the digital agent to respond with just the link, or do you want to embed content into it? And last but not the least of them all is to define a search area. How much of an area are we looking at? Is it just the product information? Is it the knowledge base articles? How much of reference to customer SLAs is needed, and so on and so forth? So defining an area is as much important as structuring the content itself. Now, this is a very quick look into voice search in a use case in the healthcare. For example, internally, people might be looking up as like, who is the best expert on a topic? It could be even help desk to help people locate and find the right information, or it could be a Q&A for procedures, rules, what have you. Externally looking, we can turn it around, and it could be similarly for adverse events reporting, drug information, patient engagement, and social media interactions. So all of these can also be delivered not just via a chatbot, but also via voice as a medium. So this is a very quick look that voice can enable both internal as well as external Q&As, and in any language that it can be needed. So who benefits from structured content? This is a very quick look at who we serve, and across the industries, be it high-tech, manufacturing, medical devices, and more. And the reason for that is structured content really reduces risk, enables delivery of accurate, well-governed information, at the same time bringing down the cost of bringing an offering to the market. And that offering could be as simple as an information or much more complicated machinery. And the best part is you can deliver information in any language across the channels as needed. And I guess it's time for Q&A.
Thank you, Arpita. It is, although I think you've probably explained so much because we've only got one question in so far. So remember, if you do have a question for our speakers, do use that QR code and send it in to us. So, Arpita, I saw that you mentioned healthcare, you gave that example, but we have a question asking, could you give some more examples about how voice-guided search could be used in the public administration?
For sure, in public administration, you have the latest standards coming out, or something, a rule, or something in an area. For example, this is the new standard that is being introduced. This is the new rule that is being introduced, and people can come in and they can be looking. So basically, what is the latest update in the year 2023 in March? So this question can be divided into three groups. So we are looking at a timestamp, we are looking at the latest, which is the objective, and we are looking at what is the update. So first of all, the user can get a response that this is the base information that you're looking at. He can get a response that this is the expert you're looking at, you might be interested in, and these are the related publications. So a voice can provide you like how interested or how deep do you want to go into your query. So it is like any search really, just that instead of making it in a visual format, this time you have an opportunity to someone talking back to you, and that allows for opening up the even the thought process of the individual asking the question, that oh, I had not thought about it, right, what is a related topic to my query. So voice makes it more human. It puts the human element without any human being present there.
Now, we have a lot of experts joining us this week. So, what would you like them to think about when it comes to voice in terms of next steps? I'm guessing the idea of perhaps moving beyond mobile, which maybe is the first thing that people think of.
Voice is present at our homes. We are talking to the hey, please turn on my oven. Can you please search this song? When is the next train coming up in my area that I have to catch to go to California, Redwood Station, for example? So it could be so many things. And as the next step, if I am right, like what devices, of course there is mobile, there are smart devices. You could also be talking to your own laptop because you do not feel like writing, but because it just allows you so many hands-free experiences. You could be talking while thinking, looking up in the air. Maybe you're one of those kind of thinkers who like to look away instead of staring at the screen. It just enables you to be more hands-free. It just enables you to tap into being more human in a way.
And finally, then, do you think we've reached a turning point yet, or is there more still to come?
I believe there is more still to come. Talking to a couple of customers last week, we found that voice is still a very small number today, but that is increasingly growing. And it even surprises them how fast it is growing. So it might be upon us before we know, but the accuracy of the voice searches, the personalization, the recommendation, how the information is being presented, it can take a turn into a mixed media. Currently, we are looking at just the voice, but it could be a little bit more augmented in certain ways. So I believe we are at a tipping point, but this area is very interesting.
And watch out for virtual reality and augmented reality as well.
For
Thank you
sure.
very much. Thank you very much, Arpita. That was fascinating.